I am Tracy Hughes. I am the Secretary of NEOACM. That's the Northeast Ohio Association for Computing Machinery. And this event is co-sponsored with Kent State's Library. So we would like to thank the library for co-sponsoring this event with us. And we'd like to thank Kent for allowing us to be here. We'd like to thank everyone again for coming out. I would also like to thank our panelists and Dr. Coney that will be back. He's on Skype. He's in University of Southern California. So we really like to think that he was involved and willing to Skype in. What I want to do right now is tell you a little bit about the moderator, Cameron Hughes. Cameron Hughes is the current chair of the Northeast Ohio ACM. He is a computer and robot programmer. He holds a post as software epistemologist. I'm sure you probably never heard of that before, so maybe during the break or during the Q&A, you could ask him what is a software epistemologist. He does that at CTEST Laboratories, where he is currently working on AIM, which is Alternative Intelligence for Machines, and AIR, Alternative Intelligence for Robots Technologies. Cameron is the lead AI engineer for the Knowledge Group at Advanced Software Construction, where they are a builder of intelligent robot controllers and software-based knowledge components. He is also a staff programmer analyst at Youngstown State University. He is a member of the advisory board for the NREF, National Education Foundation, and he is also a member of the Oak Hill Robotics Makerspace, and that's based in Youngstown, Ohio. He is the project leader of the technical team for the NEOACM CSI CLUE Robotics Challenge, and regularly organize and direct robot programming workshops for varying robot platforms. He is the co-author of 2 books on robotics. One is called Build Your Own Teams on Robots, and the other one just came out in May, and the name of that book is A Guide to Controlling Autonomous Robots, and that's published by Q Publishing. He is a co-author of other books and blogs on software development and artificial intelligence, and has written many books on multi-core, multi-threaded programming, Linux rapid application development, object-oriented programming, and parallel programming in C++. Okay, and that's Cameron Hughes. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming out. I guess on all of that, that's a lot of stuff, unnecessary stuff, too much. I think probably my most important role today is the chair of the ACM, and I'm also a member of IEEE Computer Society. So I want to use this opportunity to also be an evangelist a little bit for the ACM. We have the ACM materials out front on the table there, so those of you that just came in and didn't see those, please take a look at the ACM as an organization. The IEEE, there's a lot of literature out there. I want to encourage, especially the students that are here and not a part of the IEEE or ACM, to consider joining that if computers is your thing. Again, thank you very much for coming to the event. Can you guys hear me out there? Yeah. Yes? Okay, let me know if I get too soft or something, you can't hear me. This whole thing is about artificial intelligence. And this is our actual 3rd event. We've had a couple of these things periodically. The last 2 were at Youngstown State University. They were very well attended and very well informative events. And so we decided to push this thing out a little bit and talk about artificial intelligence at Kent State, among the Kent State population. And we want to ultimately do these seminars, these panel discussions in the state schools, probably on an annual basis. So we hope to do them more frequently. It's been a couple years since we did the last one. Things have changed enough in artificial intelligence to prompt that we do another one. That's part of the reason for this one here. And I want to really start off today by just looking at one of the general definitions of artificial intelligence. The science of making machines do things that would require intelligence if done by men. We're going to find out that there are lots of definitions of intelligence, and hopefully we'll get some definitions, some better definitions, or different definitions, or simpler definitions from our panelists today. That's one kind of a famous definition. When we talk about artificial intelligence, in many cases, it gets divided into strong AI and weak AI. And in the strong AI group, they kind of are pushing for machines to actually imitate the way that human beings, how our intelligence works. And so, in simple terms, we want to get the machines to solve problems and to think and to reason in the same ways that human beings do, and with the same capacity or even more than human beings do. Then you kind of have a weak AI group, and that group wants to say, well, we don't really need to get the machine to do things intelligently the way human beings do things, but maybe at least do things that require intelligence. So if the machine has some other way of solving what would require intelligence, we want to call that artificial intelligence also. Then there's another group that wants to divide it into a general artificial intelligence where machines can do all kinds of things. They have emotions, they can be creative, they solve problems, they can reason, they can have comedy, and then you have a group that wants to divide it into a narrow artificial intelligence. And so there's just a wide range of it. We're going to, at some point during the panel discussion today, open the floor up to the folks that are in the audience so that you can ask the panelists particular things about artificial intelligence or how it may impact you, definitions, those kinds of things, questions you might have. That's what this panelist is here for. We really don't want to have so much of a too technical discussion, and we want folks to be able to walk away with some answers today. So we have I want to say a general description for artificial intelligence. So we're jumping sides here, so excuse me. Here's something that we have Watson in 2011 won Jeopardy. We have the Google and Uber announced the testing of the self-driving cars. That's 2016. Siri, the intelligent assistant, everyone knows what that is. On the cell phone, we have Siri going on. We have pharma, reports Roche, I think AstraZeneca and Bristol Myers. These guys are using artificial intelligence in the form of machine learning and big data for medical purposes. And these are recent advancements. We have development of smart knowledge cities, or at least the goal of smart knowledge cities. Amsterdam, Barcelona, and close to home, Columbus, Ohio. The notion of a burger bot being developed by Momentum Machines, 2012. He wants to obviate human employees, and it's interesting that guy is. And we have in 2015 IAFP report that uses big data for food safety. We have this list here because we wanted to emphasize the immediate impact that it has on all of our daily lives. Driving, the cars that will be driving themselves, that's not something in the distant future, that's something that's happening now. Everyone is, most people are using either an Android phone or an iPhone, and there's a great deal of artificial intelligence in those devices.
We have Siri going on, as is the name that was mentioned. So we have a text-to-speech, voice recognition, things that you guys might not associate with artificial intelligence really are part of the artificial intelligence world research. You have GPS technology going on. A lot of people use that for navigation. A lot of that has a basis in artificial intelligence. We won't even talk about big data mining and cybersecurity matters that are happening in the background on all your cell phones. For most folks, that's just normal technology, but there's really strands of narrow AI in many aspects of that stuff. We're going to be talking about smart cities and the smart urban areas. There's artificial intelligence involved in that stuff in various ways in the background. Burger Lots, Momentum Company would like to get rid of McDonald's and have robots that are able to take orders and understand what your special orders might be. The drug and pharmaceutical world today is a lot of medicines becoming smarter and smarter as a result of data mining and pattern matching and predictive analytics. Many personalized medicine goals. There's a lot of artificial intelligence behind that. So we want you to walk away and understand that artificial intelligence in many forms is here today. And it's an integral part of your life in many ways that you may not be aware of. And we're going to be able to discuss and talk about some of these things, right down to food safety, decisions for how to make and mix foods, chemical components of various foods. A lot of that stuff has data mining in it today. So artificial intelligence touches and reaches a great many areas. In 2016, in preparing the future of artificial intelligence, the White House Office of Science and Technology, they put together a series of public policy workshops on artificial intelligence. The White House felt, under the Obama administration, that artificial intelligence had reached a threshold that was important enough to start engaging the public in terms of public discussions and policies. They had one on May the 24th on legal governance in Seattle, artificial intelligence. We had one for social good in Washington, D.C. We had one on safety and control for artificial intelligence in Pittsburgh, PA, right at Carnegie Mellon. And there was one on social and economic implications of artificial intelligence and technology near term in New York City. This, I believe, is one of the first times that the government has wanted to engage the public on artificial intelligence as a matter of previewing public policy discussions. Artificial intelligence is going to start to find its way in one form or another on the ballot. Laws to regulate these self-driving cars, laws to regulate, policy to regulate drones. There are going to be many things that we're going to have to vote about and talk about, and it's going to impact our lives from food to drug to medical matters. And so I believe the White House thought it was time to engage the public. And so really, this panel discussion here comes from, in part, our trip to the discussion that was at Carnegie Mellon, where they began to talk about some of the public policy and some of the impact on everyday people. But there was a lot of insider baseball going on there. And if you didn't have a very high technical vocabulary, or if you weren't an AI researcher, you might not have gotten it. Those were very good discussions, but folks in different areas may not have walked away with all that they could walk away with. So one of the things that we want to do with the Northeast Ohio ACM, at least in Northeast Ohio, is piggyback off of those public discussions that they had, that the White House began, and in our capacity as information, ambassadors for computer science, computer technologies. We want to kind of carry on that discussion and do so in a more inclusive way where the audience can be involved and to bring down the technology, at least the vocabulary a little, so that everyone can be involved regardless of what your major is or what your profession is. We all vote, we all are going to be involved, and we're all touched in some kind of way by artificial intelligence. And so that's kind of what we want to, I guess, the basis of this panel today. I want to take the time to talk about our panelists. We've got some esteemed panelists. I'm going to say Smith Koenig for last. Pouyan Fazil, is that correct? And Pouyan is assistant professor. He's an AI robotics researcher. He's a founding director of the People and a Robotics Laboratory in the Electrical and Engineering and Computer Science at Cleveland State University. Next to him, we have Dr. Mark Vopat. He's a professional ethics professor. Dr. Vopat is professor of philosophy, and he's the director of the Dr. James Dale Ethics Center at Youngstown State University. Next to him, we have Nicholas Wagner, who is the co-founder and he's the CTO of Avatar Fleet. That sounds kind of scary. He is a Northeast Ohio company focused on bringing innovative software solutions to the trucking industry. We have Stuart Johnson. He's the Vice President of Connected Nation. As the Vice President of Connected Nation, he's a leading technology organization committed to assisting states, communities, families, and individuals in realizing great economic and social advances. Paul Carson, intelligent community strategist. Okay. As an intelligent community strategist, he has conducted IT transformations, resulting in the City of Columbus being recognized as the 2015 most intelligent community. For taking the time out on Saturday to come be with us from different places. And we're hoping that this is going to be an informative panel. And so if you could, I'd like you to start with Mr. Carson. You guys just kind of tell us a little bit more about yourself. I didn't want to steal one of your
Fantastic. I was actually the first IT project manager hired for the City of Columbus back in 2000. So I've been with the city for 17 years. So I've seen a lot of changes over that period of time. I was lucky to, over the last 5-6 years, work with the Intelligent Community Forum and with actually with Stu from a broadband perspective, and many others, CEOs from many of the corporations. So this wasn't just a public sector initiative. It included the entire community of Columbus, many organizations to win that award. It took us 4 years to do it. We made it to the Smart 21 in 2012, and then we made it to the top 7 most intelligent communities for 3 years in a row. And we actually won it in 2015 when we hosted the annual summit this past June. So we had a lot of, as was mentioned by Cameron, we had Eindhoven, a lot of the cities from around the world in Columbus seeing what we were doing from a smart city perspective. I've also been lucky to have represented the City of Columbus at the NIST Global City Team Challenge for the last 3 years, and I was in Austin this past June, working with autonomous vehicles, connected vehicles, and working very closely with OSU's Center for Automotive Research. So when we're talking about, in theory, as Cameron did mention, we had our first pilot last year at the campus of OSU, simulating a dense population of 65,000 students. And you can imagine the number of meetings we had to have at OSU amongst all the different departments right into a student. So just on campus in a controlled environment, Columbus is on the leading edge of autonomous vehicles. And then I was also fortunate enough to be part of the small team that proposed for the USDOT Smart City Challenge. There were 78 cities that applied for that and narrowed down to 7. And Columbus won that, $40 million from USDOT, another 10 from the Vulcan Foundation with Paul Allen, co-founder of Microsoft with Bill Gates. And then Alex Fisher, the head of the Columbus Partnership, was able to, with the private sector in Columbus, match that $50 million with another $90 million. So over the next 4-year period, we will be leading the nation in applying smart transportation in 5 different areas, and hopefully I'll have time to maybe explain a little bit more as we go on. Thanks. Great.
I'm Stu Johnson. I'm the Vice President of Connected Nation. We're a global nonprofit whose mission is to advance broadband internet access, adoption, and use. On the access side, we do mapping of broadband availability for several states, as well as the FCC, National Telecommunications and Information Administration. We do various digital inclusion programs, digital skills training, and then we try to promote for significant use. So our mission is that every citizen, or every human for that matter, has access to affordable, reliable, and adequate internet service, and most importantly, the skills to use it to its fullest.
I'm Nicholas Wagner. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Avatar Fleet, which is a little tiny software company right here in Northeast Ohio. We're focusing on solving problems for the trucking industry with software, but not so much for the trucks, for the people that are actually in those companies. For the managers, for the dispatchers, for the truck drivers themselves, trying to make software that makes their lives a little bit better, a little bit easier, less burdensome. We're trying to help them handle regulatory burdens. We're trying to help them make safer companies. So that's our focus. And I've been being a programmer all my life, and recently became a businessman. So this is all new to me.
I'm Mark Bopat. And recently, this is my first year as the director of the Dr. James Dale Ethics Center at YSU. The center is set up to support faculty study and student outreach, reflection on moral issues in the community. So the whole point is the center is to bring moral issues to the forefront of both the community, the campus community, and the wider community. My own background, I do ethics, social and political philosophy, applied ethics. I teach engineering ethics, business ethics, and professional ethics at Youngstown State. My own specialty is actually in children's rights. That's where I did most of my PhD work and do continue my writing. And in some ways, that work in children's rights seems incredibly applicable to artificial intelligence, especially when talking about artificial general intelligence and what do we do with these new little beings that we've created and that we've sort of let loose on the world. So in some of this, I am self-professed geek when it comes to technology and those sorts of things, but actually my work in children seems particularly relevant when it comes to looking at these AI issues.
Hello everyone. Thank you for coming here on a Saturday. It's a nice weather outside, but you chose to come to this AI panel. My name is Pooyan Fazli. I'm an assistant professor in the Electrical Engineering and Computer Science Department at Cleveland State University. I am directing the People and Robots Laboratory, and my research focuses on AI autonomous robots, multi-robot systems, human-robot interaction, cloud robotics, and computer vision. And so our long-term research goal in the lab is to develop highly heterogeneous teams of robots, humans, and other agents to work and coordinate and collaborate in challenging and uncertain environments.
Okay, we want to give Dr. Sven Koenig. He's the last of the panelists here. We made him wait last, but he's a good guy. He started off with our Neo-ACM Clue Challenge 2 years as part of this. 2 years ago, as a part of this, our original foray into this discussion between classical artificial intelligence and bio-inspired artificial intelligence. So I want you to take a little bit of time out to get to know Dr. Sven Koenig. He's in, I believe, California right now. Is that correct?
Right. So I'm a professor at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, and my research is mostly on artificial intelligence, mostly applied to robotics, a little bit also to decision support systems. And I work on multi-agent coordination as well as planning for agents. So maybe to illustrate this a little bit, you might know that the Amazon distribution centers, the fulfillment centers, that most of the work at this point is automated there. So it's really robots that go and fetch all of these goods. And at this point, humans still put them into boxes and then send them to you. So this raises interesting multi-agent coordination and planning issues. So for example, there are hundreds of robots operating in these warehouses autonomously. And so they need to find good paths, right? I mean, how do we effectively get all of these goods and avoid collisions? And that's one of these many problems that I'm really interested in.
Okay, yeah, you know what, that's, thank you very much. We're going to get the kind of question and answer. Can you hear me, Dr. Koenig? No? Let me go, if you don't mind, I'm not sure. Can you hear me now, Dr. Koenig?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we really want to, I started off with a fairly generic definition of artificial intelligence, but so that we're all on the same page, I really want to just get a sense of what the panelists, a simple definition, what each one of you guys, how you would describe artificial intelligence when you hear the term, what you mean. So we'd like to start with you, Dr. Koenig. A definition, a simple one if you could, for artificial intelligence.
Right. So, I mean, there are lots of different definitions, and if you ask 10 years emphasis on what AI really is, right? So you could define it as a study of computation mechanisms that underlies thought and intelligent behavior, so that we can find out how to make machines do the kinds of problems that typically have been reserved for humans. But one of the interesting things is that if you look into the most popular textbook in AI, so by Russell and Norvig, so they define it very simply. And they just say, look, you know, an intelligent system is an input-output system that will act in the world. And what it wants to do is it wants to do well according to some given performance measure. That's the definition. So it skirts all of these issues of what intelligence really could be, and basically just says, look, it's a kind of an optimization system, which is really interesting, right? Because optimization has been studied in lots of different disciplines, not just in AI, but for example, also in operations research, in control theory, in economics. And so I have this colleague of mine in operations research who I work very closely with. We write lots of different papers together, do interesting research together. And it's sometimes very hard to figure out, you know, what part of this is really sort of artificial intelligence and which one is operations research. And we have sort of agreed, I think, on AI is always interested in few and general purpose principles, right? Because we believe that underlying human intelligence, there must be a few fundamental principles. Whereas in OR, you more look at the individual problem and devise your own method for it, because that allows you to exploit the structure a little bit better. But I believe that eventually what we really need is sort of an umbrella science. An umbrella science for smart decision making. And that would really merge these different methods of ER, operations research, economics, and all of these other disciplines into an overall science.
Okay, great. Okay, optimization theory overall. Okay, fair enough. Dr. Fazoli, right?
Yes.
Fazli, right?
Yes.
Could you give us just...
Sure, yeah. So as Suen mentioned, there is no one definition for AI. Maybe it's a good thing because people interpret artificial intelligence in different ways. But one definition is, the goal of AI is to develop intelligent machines. So what is an intelligent machine? An intelligent machine is an entity that can sense, perceive the environment, reason, act, and learn. So you see that these are very similar to a human, right? We are sensing the environment, we reason about the environment, and try to act and learn from the experience. So this is could be one basic definition of AI. Another textbook definition of AI. I think Suen mentioned that I couldn't hear it well. But it's systems that act rationally. This is a definition of AI. So it's not think rationally, but systems that act rationally, because systems just think and do not act is not going to be beneficial. And it's not think like humans, because humans are not always intelligent in all the tasks. So AI is not thinking like humans or acting like humans. We are bad in many tasks. If I give you to multiply a 4-digit number by a 4-digit number, it's going to take some time for you, but it's a very simple thing for a calculator. Okay. So acting or thinking like a human is not a definition for AI. Acting rationally, it means that based on your capability, what is the best you can do. We still have time, or?
Yeah.
Just one last thing, about this. I think you mentioned, the weak AI and the strong AI, the difference between these two. So in weak AI, it means that we have systems that have been trained for one specific application or purpose. So when you see a chess program or an AlphaGo program that managed to beat the world champion a couple of months ago, this is an example of weak AI. This system has been trained for months or years to work on one application, which is chess, or it's AlphaGo, or any other game. As opposed to strong AI, that the goal is to develop systems, to develop some sort of intelligence that can work in different applications. This is how human is working. We can have that intelligence to reason, think, and act in different types of problems. This is called a strong AI, which is, we are still very far from that point in artificial intelligence. So what we have now, it's mostly called weak AI. We are just designing systems that work on very, very specific applications and domains.
Wow. So I'm going to point to the next one at Dr. Vopat. How dare you even use the word intelligence, right? And with in combination with machine. So can we even do that? Can we even talk about artificial, synthetic, or any kind of intelligence about something that's not biological? It's not human.
Well, I think in some ways it doesn't really matter whether we can make the same distinctions with animals versus humans, or insects versus humans. So things that seem to be radically different than what we are. And I think we have sort of this bias when we're talking about intelligence. There's something unique about human intelligence, such that, and I think what we're really saying is something unique about human awareness or creativity or consciousness, not intelligence. We see intelligence all the time. We see intelligence in animals. We see intelligence in machines, and I don't think the fact that one's biological or one's silicone matters at all in terms of whether we call it intelligent. And in some regard, based on that, I was glad that Ern said there's no set definition, because I actually went looking for, is there any sort of agreed upon within the computer science community, and it turns out that it's more like the Supreme Court's view on pornography. Potter's theory is like, well, I know it when I see it, right? So, well, this seems to have the attributes of something that's intelligent. And in some ways, that may be enough. So I think, like the panelists here said some very good things that are, accurate things that the intelligence, when we're talking about artificial intelligence, we need just to at least be specific. Are we talking about the very specific problem-solving ability? And I'm perfectly happy as a philosopher, as a person, saying, yeah, that's a smart machine or intelligent machine with regard to that particular task. It doesn't threaten my humanity for me, let's put it that way.
Intelligence is not necessarily connected to something living, whether it's a human or an animal or a plant. It's not necessarily.
I don't think there's any at least necessary connection between the two. I think it just so happens that we might be the first ones that have this level of intelligence, but the fact that it happens to be biological, or this type of biology, is just pure chance, right? Intelligences could crop up elsewhere.
Machine touch, fine, okay. Nick,
Yeah.
you determine what it was.
Well, for me, artificial intelligence means the process by which a machine can solve problems that are typically associated with, or we've previously been limited to, only humans solving. So whether that's playing chess, maybe that's playing chess. Once upon a time, we thought, well, a machine can't play chess. Only human beings can play chess. And now computers play chess pretty well, much better than I do. And we can apply that in a whole lot of other areas. So how they go about that process is, those are all the pieces of whether, we're sensing, processing that data that the machine is sensing, acting on that data. That's how they're going about solving problems. So to me, AI is that process where those machines are solving human-style problems.
Okay, so the guys that use swarms of bees and flocks of birds and the intelligence, types of intelligence that birds have and that bees have, and the ants, the ant intelligence of finding, some location and then, finding a good treasure. You wouldn't consider that kind of stuff intelligence if it's not human.
Well, I would say we solve some of the same problems that ants solve, right? So some of the classic problems of how does the ant figure out how to navigate, we solve some of those same problems. So I think there's levels of intelligence, and what we're looking for in the AI community is we're looking for ways to get machines up to the point of solving human problems, and hopefully, in my opinion, hopefully beyond some of the problems that we can solve right
So
now.
the insect problem-solving thing is not good enough.
No, that's not good. But that's one little piece, right? That's one little piece. That's one level. It's very low level, and it's great when we can solve those problems. It's fun to watch a robot that actually can solve a problem at the same level as, say, a bird.
Right.
That's really fun. But we want to go beyond that.
So, Dr. Fazali, some of the mapping algorithms, where we would teach the robots, maybe using some swarm technology, where some of the foraging type algorithms, those things where we're trying to get to insect intelligence. Because at some point in the AI community says, we will never be able to imitate human intelligence. So maybe we'll do good if we can imitate insect intelligence. So in the lower levels, we're talking about insects, we're talking about a herd of cattle or something. Do we really want to use a different name or a different terminology? Do we still want to say intelligence when we are talking